Hello, my name is Hugo and I'm here with my old and beloved LEICA M8 and also with my new LEICA M9. So how these two cameras compare? Well, first thing you noticed when you take for the first time a LEICA M9 after some years with M8 in your hands is that both cameras are almost identical. Same weight, the shape. Immediately you feel at home. Between these two cameras there are other similarities that makes them like sisters in the soul in the LEICA M family, and one of these similarities is that both cameras have a CCD sensor. But in the case of the LEICA M9 is a full frame sensor, and in the case of the LEICA M8 is a crop sensor. Because when LEICA released this camera, they couldn't fit a full frame sensor inside of this body and make it work. So the first digital LEICA M was a crop sensor camera. There are some differences that you can see from the beginning. For example, between the two cameras, this little window here that in the LEICA M8 indicates free space in the SD card and battery, how much battery you have. The LEICA M9 don't have this little window. Instead, it have a dedicated button in the menu that tells you this information. And nothing here. In this case, because this is a LEICA M9P, you can see these letters, but it's only the plate. And this little like stir here. Another difference is in the shutter speed. In the M9 goes till 4000 and in the M8 goes till 8000. And the third difference is in the grip. The grip from the LEICA M9 is leather, is very grippy. It's so grippy that I don't need to put any thumbs up or nothing that helps me to hold the camera. And in the M8 it comes with this like synthetic material that in my opinion looks very good. I like it very much because it gives a very industrial look to the camera. But it's not so grippy, so I like to have a thumbs up and a leather case on this camera that helps me to hold it. From the outside, aesthetically, I like more how the M8 looks, because it looks older, it's more used, have all the signs of the time. The black is not so black, red dot is not so red, the white letters are not so white, so I like very much how it looks like this. This M9 is in mint conditions, it's like new. And it's so new that, well, it's perfectly black, letters perfectly white. And by now, in this moment, I prefer the look of the M8. It's my personal opinion, but I'm very happy that I'm gonna be the one who is gonna use this camera and make it look old. So no problem with that. But it's just my personal taste. So how they handle? Yeah, in the hands they feel exactly the same, just with some little difference. For example, one of them is in the shutter sound. At 250, LEICA M8 sounds like this. And LEICA M9 at 250 sounds like this. So M8, M9. The M9 is smoother, a little bit smoother, and it's not a big difference. But after a long time shooting with the M8, when you take the M9 and shoot, wow, yeah, it's a little bit harsher in the M8. I like very much how the M8 sounds. Both cameras, I like how they sound. They are not very quiet, but they have beautiful sound. And in the LEICA M8, I found that the leather case isolated a little bit the noise, and it comes a very beautiful sound from the shutter. By the way, these two cameras live very well together, are good companions. You can use the batteries from one to other. You can share one leather case and change it from one to another because they have the same shape, so that's an advantage. But my experience with this M9 wasn't very good in the beginning, because I take it to an event, I start shooting, and suddenly the camera froze. So I didn't understand what was happening. A red dot blinking in the back. The camera didn't respond. So at the end I take out the battery, put it inside again, and the camera come to life again. I continued shooting for some minutes and again froze. What was happening? I take out the battery, put it again, and the camera again continue working. But I realized that doing this, I lose some of the images that I take. The last images, they wasn't in the SD card. So I thought, what a mistake to buy the M9. Because the M8 was so good, and now this problem. So I make a research in the internet, in forums, and I find out that it's something it happened to some M9s. And if you only use original Leica batteries and a dedicated SD card only for this camera, not one SD card that you take from another, you format, you put it here, no, dedicated one, the problems can be solved. And it was the case. After that, the camera works good till today. But this is one of the difference between M9 and M8. The M8 don't care if you put original batteries or not. If you use a SD card from another camera, the M8 works. And the M8 feels more mechanical. It's like a film camera. And when I put this leather case that covers the back screen, I use it exactly as a film camera, and it behaves as such. The only thing you can't do with M8 is to shoot in continuous mode, because it froze. But if you don't do this, it's mechanical. The M9 let you feel more her digital soul. It's like somehow slower. Sometimes it's the feeling that the buffer needs time to digest the images, and makes you feel a little bit more that you are with a digital camera. Always inside of this very mechanical and pure experience. But between these two, at least, you can tell this small difference. Is this a problem? No. It's how this camera behaves, and to me it's okay. I'm not a fast shooter. I take my time. I don't need the camera to be very fast. No. Image quality. Both cameras are very good cameras. I don't think in any case it's gonna be a limitation for the photographer. I think the limitations are gonna be always in the photographer with these cameras. The files they produce are very similar, but there is a little difference, in my opinion, in the DNG just out from the camera. The Leica M8 looks have a little bit softer, less contrast. The colors are a little bit softer, like older look. And the M9, in the M9 the colors, the reds are a little bit more awake, a little bit stronger, and it's like a little bit more modern look, maybe a stronger look, very beautiful. I like both a lot. The difference between the two cameras is in the size of the sensor. The LEICA M9 is a full frame sensor, so when you attach the lenses that you are using in your M8 to the M9, you can see how the lens breathes. It's like you see this space in the size of the image, like a little bit of vignetting sometimes, wide open in some lenses. And this is very pleasant, and this is very nice. But it's not something that is gonna bother you with the M8. If you have an M8, you buy an M8, as you probably know, you're gonna use it as the camera allows you. Your lines are gonna tell you how to compose your image. So you don't gonna feel any limitation. You're only gonna see the difference when you use both cameras together and you change from one to another with the same lenses. Then you're gonna see this space in the side of the image that is very nice, and that makes a 35 behave as a 35, not as a 46 or 50 like in M8. High ISO. In the beginning I thought that both cameras handle in the same way the noise and the high ISO, but after some research or some tests, I come to the conclusion that is not the case, that M9 handles a little bit, very little bit better high ISO, and above 640 the M9, the noise in the M9 is a little bit less visible, but if you shoot in high ISO, you're gonna see the noise. It's not a problem. Before it was the grain, now it's the noise. I like how it looks sometimes, but the M9 handles a little bit better, and I feel more comfortable shooting in low light with the M9. Conclusions. These two cameras are great. They go very well together. You can use the batteries from one to the other. You can share the cases from one to other. You never have the feeling that you are choosing between two very different cameras, just from one a little bit older or another a little bit newer. I see myself using more the M8 as a daily camera, taking it everywhere with this 28mm Elmarit attached. I enjoy it, with the feeling that in case something happened to this camera, I have a backup camera. And I take the M9 more for special occasions where I'm gonna be in a place that I want to take all the advantage from one lens, or it's not very good light, or I just want to enjoy the big pleasant of this wonderful camera. I would recommend, if you are thinking in buy your first digital Leica M, to go for the M8 because it's cheaper. And with this camera you're gonna understand if you like it or not, if you feel comfortable with this system or not. And if this is the case and you feel good, you're gonna love this camera. But if you decide to go for the M9 instead of the M8, great. It's a marvelous camera, 2 times the price, but incredible quality, very pleasant to use. I really like it. So I think that's all. I hope you like the video. Until the next time. Bye.